Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is April 4th, and I'm going to do a quick video here before I head out this morning. You can see the cold air cumulus coming in with the system here that's spinning up on the north tip of Vancouver Island. Our low that's bringing some pretty good winds across the region, gusting 39 at my house, gusting over 60 miles per hour. Some locations on the coastline, Cape Disappointment, 64 miles per hour. Some 50 plus mile per hour gusts up north of Seattle, and SeaTac generally around the 40 mile per hour range as well. And taking a look here, Randy Small sent this in on Twitter. Check out his Facebook page, Randy Small on Facebook. He covers up towards Whatcom County and Bellingham, and you can see the hail covering the road there. Pretty crazy shower moving through up there. Had some lightning associated with it as well. We're getting some lightning off the coast, Vancouver Island as well. So here's that gust there, Cape Disappointment. You can see it here, 64 miles per hour. You can see, as you know, we've got some pretty good winds going around the area. Three Tree Point there, I took a quick drive this morning. The power was out down there. There's some branches down. So definitely a strong storm rolling in here, and we're not done. This wind is going to continue on through the afternoon, and it might bring Seattle's best winds by this afternoon through the area, through areas of the Puget Sound going on through this afternoon. So heads up, and it's going to continue on through eastern Washington as well. Camp Muir here, look at this, gusting 90 miles per hour this morning, 10,000 feet. So I don't know if anybody's out there, but heads up if you're in the backcountry, if you're planning on going up on some of the higher slopes here around the Pacific Northwest. Just showing you that the Portland forecast discussion this morning talked about a weak tornado possible. Probably would have to be associated with some kind of terrain influence, but the updrafts are pretty strong today. They're well sheared, and hail is definitely a possibility, lightning, and maybe even a quick spin up. So watch the skies as these showers pass by. Now here's checking out updraft helicity. This tells you where there might be some rotation with some of these storms or just powerful updrafts. And you can see it caught this thunderstorm that moved across up north here that brought some lightning and that small hail this morning. Now, as we go into later this morning, here's 11 o'clock, 12:01. You can see another one targeting just south of Olympia there, but you can see some other updraft helicity streaks rolling through the area here as well as for some coast. That's towards ocean shores this afternoon, and there's thunderstorm potential off towards Spokane and pushing off to the east there as well. Probably not so much for the Columbia Basin, but really anywhere western Washington and western Oregon north of Salem could get a thunderstorm this afternoon. And actually, let's back up here again on that, and let's show this is significant tornado potential here. Let's let this roll through here. You can see how this kind of picks up here as we get towards the afternoon a little bit. You can see this mainly Seattle south, but you can see some of the areas. That's probably why the Portland forecast testing was talking about this. Maybe some of the terrain features down here could spawn a brief spin up, and you can see this section out here moving east of Portland, and as well as some possibility there for, down towards southern southwest Washington as well. So I'll be out there chasing that. I'll watch these showers come ashore. It's always a needle in the haystack chasing this stuff. Lightning flash density, you can see these storms move in today and through the afternoon, really anywhere. Like I said, Salem north could get a thunderstorm today. And this is the composite reflectivity. You can just see some of these, these showers, these lines of showers moving through it according to the HRRR going through this afternoon. So expect that heavy rain, small hail, gusty winds. And take a look here at the wave heights. This is almost currently right here. You can see this big surge of big waves coming towards the coastline here, really peaking later on tonight, but they should be building during the day for the Washington, Oregon coast here, as you see these maximum individual wave heights out there, over 50-foot waves in some cases. And this is one more look at the SIGTOR parameter here. This is for the NAM 3KM, and you can see it really starts to get going about 1, 2 o'clock and target southwest Washington, just north of Columbia River there, and mainly Seattle south. This parameter does exist, but again, this is something that's going to be brief. It's not something you need to worry about for the most part. Just watch these showers as they move through the area, because these gusty winds can bring down tree branches as well. And the European really didn't handle this morning's winds as well as, for example, the HRRR did. But it does bring another surge through the Puget Sound this afternoon, as does the HRRR. We'll look at that in a minute here too. But if you look here, check it out. Eastern Washington has not got their strongest winds yet. That happens through this afternoon. As you can see, these winds are going to gust over 50 miles per hour as we go in through this afternoon, especially for the higher terrain too. And the biggest winds on the coast have probably already occurred, but you're going to get really gusty winds throughout the day today on the coastlines as well. Now, this is the HRRR. You can see as we go into this morning, the peak gusts were a little bit higher through Seattle here and through areas of Bellingham, but actually, let's do gust. Okay, that is gust swath, but this only starts here. So this might have missed some of those bigger gusts earlier this morning. But you can see it brings 40 plus mile per hour gusts here through the afternoon for the Seattle area. And it continues the gusty winds up, 50 miles per hour is not out of the question still through the afternoon on the coastlines too. Generally less through Portland in the Willamette Valley. And you can see the European kind of bumped up the amounts on last night's run, and it really kind of missed that for Seattle. We didn't get that high. It had the mean around 50. It was more around 40 for Seattle. So it kind of swung and missed a little bit there. And this is kind of the Cape Plume for Southwest Washington near the Columbia Bay, Astoria, I should just say there, the Columbia River mouth there. And it shows the instability coming through here, and it's going to wane rapidly as we get through Tuesday and on into the rest of the week. We should have no thunderstorm potential. Then maybe as we get another trough back in through next weekend. And checking out a little bit of significant tornado parameter going on, mainly Olympia South, just kind of pointing that out. And you can see the SPC did include us in their general thunderstorm forecast, some chances some enhanced severe weather down there. There's a tornado threat down through Texas, Louisiana, some hail and some wind as well. But they did not include any kind of tornado potential here. And this is for Seattle, Tacoma. Check out Thursday. Still looking like it's going to be a really nice day. Probably the nicest day of the year coming up here. I expect temperatures to get into the lower 70s for a lot of areas. And you can see that we drop right back down into some cooler weather as we go back down into next weekend. Let's look out in the extended. I mean, look at this. We just go from low 70s to upper 40s. There could be even the higher hilltops could get some snowfall with a big trough like this setting up any convergent zone activities, and there's going to be mountain snow going on. And we generally remain below average until well off into mid-April as a good trough sets up over us. In this, I mentioned this in my live feed last night. The CFS, the long range, actually shows us going into a third La Nina in a row on into the extended. So I don't know how accurate this is going to be. As you can see, the International Research Institute does show that these models do show that we are going to go into neutral territory. You can see there's a bunch of different models here, and kind of the ensemble mean shows that we're going to move back into neutral territory, and which in turn means that we'll probably have an El Nino coming here in the next 2 to 3 years. And we have no idea how strong that El Nino will be, but this just kind of tends to be the general cycle of the oceans. You go through a La Nina, and then eventually you'll go back through an El Nino period, and then back into a La Nina period eventually. So El Nino probably in the next 2 to 3 years, and possibly a neutral year next year, and maybe even an outside chance of staying in La Nina again next year. So we'll have to watch out for that. But yeah, look at these cold air cumulus out here. This is aimed directly at us. Let's put this into motion here, in fact. And you can see the sun rising across the region, and look at some of these showers. These are going to be some hail producers, gusty winds. So watch out. Don't be around the big trees when these big dark clouds move overhead. I mean, I've seen a lot of branches down this morning just around here in Normandy Park. So you're going to have potential for some power outages. I know there's power outages down at Three Tree Point. I'm sure other people are out of power by now as well. And if you're out on the coastline, watch out for those sneaker waves, big waves rolling up through this afternoon. The wave height should be increasing through this evening as well. So these wave heights are going to get going as we go through the afternoon here. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm probably going to live stream eventually at some point today as I go out. I'll try to catch something good. I'm going to bring the drone and maybe go up and try to catch a little, spin up a little tornado action there. And if not, I'll just go out and check out the waves and see what the coast looks like today. Always something to watch here, and nice dynamic storm here for early April for sure. So yeah, if you guys see anything, put them in the comments, and I'll probably see you live on a live stream here in the next few hours, and I'll talk to you guys later.